Ever had a match where ball felt glued to your feet and every pass was so obvious? That's called flow, where game slows down and you just play on instinct. Today I'm handing you the blueprint, what flow is and how to handle it, how to bring it on when you need it, and a VR shortcut that you can test it tonight. Drop a comment and let me know right now if you ever felt like you were in a flow state when you're playing football, because that's what separates a great from average. Have you ever watched the movie Matrix? That's exactly what it is. How he dodges the bullet is exactly the flow state that you need to be in when you're playing football. And we're gonna get into it right now. Flow isn't a magic. It's your brain's peak performance mode. Think of every distraction, crowd noise, self-doubts, tactics overload as open apps draining your phone's battery. And when that flow kicks in, the operating system closes everything that's not match related. And suddenly, 90 minutes feels like well-directed movie where you play the lead role. There are 3 sensations you will feel on the pitch that you are in a flow state. One is the time dilation. The game seems too slow and it's giving you time to breathe on the pitch. 2, effortlessness. Actions just link together without mental friction. So you basically think that everything is too easy for you. 3 is the tunnel focus. When you're in the tunnel focus, nothing matters. All the noises, your coach's noises, your teammates' noises, everything disappears. And now you are the one controlling everything. The science, guys, talks about neurochemistry. But what matters for us footballers on the pitch, recognizing the feeling and knowing the pathways. But how can an average player achieve the flow state consistently? Number 1, our brain loves small quests. So that's what we need to achieve first. Get your simple passing right, get your first touch good. Now you're mentally gonna be in a better place to enter the flow state. Because every completed quest is gonna lead your brain into that flow zone. The second pathway is the immediate feedback. Football supplies that in buckets. So you're gonna hear constant feedback from everybody all the time, whether it's positive or negative. And guess what? When you completed those small quests, now your feedback is gonna be positive. Once you get all those positive feedbacks, now you are even opening up a wider space to get into the flow state. And the third pathway is meaningful risk. A preseason friendly with a whole bunch of dog walkers watching your game is not gonna get you into the flow state. A cup game under lights or even a Sunday derby with bragging rights on the line flips the switch because stakes demand total focus. You can't always choose your fixture, but what you can do is to learn to treat every game equally so you can enter the flow state every game, not just the important games. Flow lives where challenge meets skill, and the skill is of course the fuel. Picture the ball in flight. Bad players wait to see what kind of bounce they get. Flow players decide early. Inside foot cushion, outside foot, one touch exit, chest drop and volley. That early decision means that the moment the ball touches your feet, the next chapter, the next play is pre-written. You can train that anticipation in every session. While a pass is traveling, you can ask yourself, what exact surface, what exact angle, what exact next pass? Do it even in warm-ups. And over time, the question becomes automatic. An automatic decision free the brain to scan the bigger picture. Scanning is flow's second alley. A simple shoulder check every few seconds stitches together the living map of where your teammates are, where the markers are, where the opposition is, where the space is. When the ball reaches you, the map is already loaded in your mental GPS. So choices appear without conscious grind. So you don't think too much, you don't think too hard. It's automatic. Practice in ordinary moments. You're walking down the street. You look left, you looked right, you know where the stores are, right? You're loading all those into your head. And next time, you know where to go without even having to look at anything. That's exactly the same idea when you're playing football. You loaded everything into your head because you shoulder checked, you looked around, and you know where your teammates are You know when the pressure is coming towards you. And that's exactly the importance of scanning. Add verbal layer by naming what you see. Man on, switch, I'm here. It might sound silly, but speaking the map out loud cements pictures in your head and help your teammates to build theirs. Because now you're not only naming the names for yourself, but you're also doing it to help your teammates out. Football is a language, and the louder your team is, the more successful your team is gonna be, because you're helping one another. Okay, that was a lot of information. Let's stitch these habits into pre-game routine. 10 minutes before a kickoff. Find a very quiet place. Take 5 slow breaths. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Inhale for 6. You're signaling safety to your nervous system. Next, close your eyes. Run a short mental movie. Picture the first action you outline. Maybe a crisp inside foot pass to your number 6 and see it succeed. Keep the clips short, under 10 seconds, because the flow likes short trailers. Open your eyes and whisper a trigger word, like smooth. Some players use calm, some players use laser, or even their kid's name, if you're old enough to have a kid. Finally, a quick body scan, because you want to feel good. So roll the muscles that are tight, do more stretching. Benefit, you start the match already edging toward the zone, instead of stumbling there by accident. Whistle blows. Your game started. Your first target is the early win. Remember that mini goal? You want to get there as quick as possible. First simple pass, quick shoulder check, a really good first touch, and a successful shout to your teammate. Stack these micro victories together. So now there is your zone to enter into the flow state. Protect it with a rhythm. Scan, pass, talk, move. That's even gonna build your flow stronger. And anytime match turns into a chaos, things are not going like you were hoping that they will, right? It's so hard to snap back and get right into the game. Mistakes, that's gonna happen. But how do you get out of that zone and get right back into the flow? If you don't, you're gonna fall into the game's rhythm, not your own rhythm. Drop a reset word, like next, like you're starting a new chapter. It's like cutting a bad clip from your timeline when you're editing a video. Follow it with a quick breathing technique, just like we did pre-game, right? Now you don't have a quiet space. You can start telling your nervous system that I am resetting everything. And now you re-entered the flow state, but you're gonna have to rebuild it. Quick scan, a good pass, a good first touch. Now I promised a modern shortcut. You can only stack so many real matches in a week, and flow thrives on repetition. That's where VR headset app called Be Your Best changes your game. Slip on the visor and in 20 minutes you face more decision flashes the most amateurs see in full 90 minutes. The app drops you into a real-world scenario. Scanned from Premier League, La Liga, you are the defensive midfielder pressed by 3 shirts. The winger timing a far post run, the fullback judging a blindside overlap. Eye tracking cameras traces your scans. When the session ends, you get a heat map in green and red. Green lines mean you looked early. Red means late or not at all. It's brutal, yes, but brutally clear beats guesswork every time. Run just 3 scenarios before breakfast every morning and you just banked hundreds of decisions. The next real match feels like you borrowed Neo's power from the Matrix. Everything moves slower because your brain already rehearsed the movie. Link is in the description. Take it, record your first map, tag me on Instagram, and I will repost the best transformation. Flow isn't only a match day affair, it's a weekly lifestyle. On Monday night, write 1 sentence about what felt smooth the last game and write another sentence on what jammed your game. On Tuesdays, spend 5 minutes box breathing, like how I showed you in a quiet space. Wednesday mornings, hop back into the VR scenarios and chase greener heat lines. And Thursday, replay the game like a commentator in your head. You're strengthening your brain, you're training it for the next game. Friday evening, stretch to your favorite playlist. That familiar soundtrack will act like a scent memory, pulling you towards the calm. And Saturday is a showtime. That's when your game is. We're gonna go back to your breathing technique, finding a quiet space, recreating those moments that we just created to get you into the flow state every game. If this blueprint flipped even one tiny light bulb on top of your head, tap that like button right now. It tells the algorithm these conversations matter. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the next week's video. And drop a comment and let me know which habit are you installing first. I read every single reply during my cooldown, and the sharpest insight gets pinned for the whole squad to see. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to improve your first touch, here's a perfect video for you. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.